Okay, welcome. Happy Friday to everyone. Welcome to those in television land. Welcome to our silent supporters. Happy Friday. Hope everyone had a wonderful and productive week and looking forward to a wonderful and restive weekend. We appreciate each and everyone who visit our platform and support us. So this week we our topic will be come and see how corrupted politicians building their legacy off the backs of Jamaican taxpayers, and we are welcoming those in the chat as well. Thank you so much for joining us. For those on Facebook, welcome. Let me just bring that up there. So, thank you to everyone who have been supporting us. Thank you to our new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Really appreciate each and everyone. And tonight, as usual, the host is Baron and Anne. So, we hope that tonight people will join in, give us their opinions and stuff on the topic because, what is happening is affecting each and every one of us, whether we're directly in Jamaica or abroad, because umbrella speaking, we're all Jamaicans. So whatever is happening at home, we should be concerned. So based on that light, we're continuing to highlight what is going on and watch what is going on and try to enlighten people the best we can and try to empower people by giving them knowledge and encouraging people to dig into their moral compass and look into what is right and wrong and try to uphold what is right as opposed to backing what is wrong and being more of a Jamaican, thinking about our country and what is best for our country, other than just being partisan and my party is in power and they should stay in power no matter what. No, we have to put our country first and foremost and think about what is good for our people and our generation to come, what sort of legacy we're going to be leaving behind, and what morals we want to impart on our kids and on the next generation coming. Right. So as usual, I have to do some housekeeping. So I am going to hand over to Baron, who's going to lead us into the discussion. But before I do that, let me just welcome those who are in the chat. Welcome. Truck Life, happy Friday. Straight up greetings. Happy to be back again. Happy to have you back. Straight up. And Truck Life is saying, looking wonderful as always, Mrs. Anna, Mr. Baron, respect and blessings every time. Thank you so much, Truck Life, and thank you so much for your undaunting support. Really appreciate you. Said Mr. Baron, the boss, and we appreciate each and everyone who's joining us each and every week. So remember, when you're coming in, thumbs up the live, and if you can, please share us out. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. Okay, so over to you, Baron.
All right. Once again, my ardent listeners, thank you for another Friday to pass through and tune in to Mystic Sensation, right? We really appreciate that. I want to, in extension, right, really big up, some platforms who are carrying the banner, right, and wanting to see, right, justice for all. So I want to take time out, of course, to big up Jamaican Buzz, big up Jamaican Carlos, right? Big up Andre Stevens, big up Politics Watch, big up Wayne Lonesome, right? And many other more channels, right, that are carrying the torch, wanting to see justice and of course, fighting for a better nation. Today, my listeners, I came across a news that really upset me. And it upset me in the sense that they proved me correct. Because if you go back to some clips that I had done, particularly where SSL is concerned, because I wasn't planning to touch SSL tonight, because you have seen the thumbnail, right? But the breaking of the news today, right, caused me now to speak on SSL before I even go into my main topic. And if persons who are following me realize that I said that the SSL case, the only victim that we are going to have in the SSL case would be Jean and Panton.
Not victim, you said.
Right?
Victim.
The only accused.
Yes.
Sorry, let me correct that. Right? Did I say victim? Yes. But yes, the only accused that we are going to get from the SSL case. And it is so sad. And that's why I did a deep dive to show the world, right, the persons who the investigator also need to target, which of course, based on the Prime Minister profile account, the Prime Minister should be an interested individual, right, or person of interest to any investigator, right, for one and more reasons. One, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration cannot be verified by the Integrity Commission. Two, the Prime Minister claimed that he utilized loan from banking institution to assist in the building of the home, of his home. Investigator, journalists had proven that to be false. And so then, based on what we found, it is clear that the Prime Minister need to explain his source of funds. It is just simple and straightforward. This has nothing to do with any taking side with any political party. This has to do with justice. Justice. So today, right, before I go any further, I am going to play a clip. Straight up said, a question straight off the bat. Have you ever seen anyone charged for fraud who was not quickly given bail? Are they hiding Jean and Panton so that she can't get to talk? Straight up, and that's why I like, when you really speak, because straight up, everything that you mention appears to be so. But tonight, before we get into the intricacies, I am going to play the clip as it relates to the breaking news regarding SSL. I've spoken time and time, so this is no surprise. The news came out today is actually no surprise to me. But to know into the fact that the system, the criminal justice system, is so corrupt. But I am going to expose them and let the entire world see, right? Even the ruling from the Supreme Court, right, is flawed. And I'm going to show people how flawed the ruling is. So without any hesitation, let us play the clip for persons to see the ruling coming from the Supreme Court. So as we know it, the SSL case is over. All right, play the clip with it.
Okay, welcome everyone. Happy Friday again. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate each and everyone being here. Which one do you want?
The SSL hold on. Hold on, guys. We are just getting
there's so many to go through here.
We have so many clips, so we just want to get the information. You know how we work, that when we are presenting something, we want to show the source of the information. And so then we want to make sure that we are doing things from a fact-finding base, right? So this is definitely what we are doing. All right. So.
Okay, let me just bring up the list here.
All right.
Okay, this one.
Yes. Okay, yeah, we have it. Sorry about that, guys.
Just wanting to make sure it's the right one. Okay, so let me go ahead and share.
All right.
Supreme Court today lifted an injunction against former director and shareholder of Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, Hugh Croskery. On January 25, the Financial Services Commission got an injunction against Mr. Croskery, restraining him from dealing with any assets of the company pending a civil suit. Now, the injunction order was also obtained against other directors. But Mr. Croskery's attorneys challenged the court order, arguing that he was unaware of any fraudulent activities associated with SSL and at all times had acted in good faith. One of Mr. Croskery's attorneys, Peter Champagny KC, said the injunction was redundant since their client had resigned as a director of SSL.
Okay, take that away, honey. All right.
In any event, it is not a case where our client is wanting to have any dealings with SSL because he had resigned as a director, albeit that he remains a shareholder. But by this, he's indicating and has indicated that he really was not a part of any activity that would have warranted this kind of injunction against him, this injunctive relief that was sought.
Supreme Court Judge Stephanie Jackson Haseley also ordered the FSC to pay Mr. Croskery's legal costs. In January, the FSC sought and was granted an injunction blocking the directors from fraud-hit SSL from winding up the company or liquidating its assets.
Okay. All right. So my listeners, you have heard that the Supreme Court, right, has lifted the court injunction, right, on Mr. Croskery, right? What does that mean? So it's not just the corruption, but how in your face they are the cover-up. These people are showing us that they could shoot us on King Street in full view and just walk away. You're so right. But let me say this to you. Now, let us explain what is the injunction. In the case of SSL, right, and we are Nigel Clark, because let me tell you something, my ardent listeners. All of this, I can say now, is reverse psychology or psychology in reverse. Nigel Clark, the Supreme Court, Croskery, right, and all of these people, right, who involve as it relates to investigating of SSL, and we're going to speak something tonight. So when Nigel Clark rushed out and said, okay, all right, I'm going to put an injunction, right, on Croskery, preventing, so let me define what an injunction is. A court injunction in this particular case where over 9,000 persons have been fleeced from their cash, right? And you, Croskery, make a move right, to dissolve, to liquidate assets. Nigel Clark, just for sure, our psychology in reverse, want to say that, okay, he's doing something, okay, let us put an injunction and cross carry. No, you put an injunction and cross carry. Nigel Clark, you are going to tell me, and the judge, Stephanie Jackson, you are going to tell me as a judge, an active case. One of the reasons why an injunction, you understand, would be utilized is to stop the further committing of an offense. That is the reason for an injunction, right? To prevent one of the parties, you understand, not to be further harmed. And in this case, over 9,000 people. Now, if you put an injunction on this particular case where cross carry is concerned, in the middle of an investigation, the middle of an investigation, the Supreme Court is going to rule to lift the injunction. To lift the injunction. So then, lifting the injunction while an active investigation is on, does it mean now, or it's giving cross carry right to impede within the investigation in terms of liquidizing some of the assets? So then, if that is going to be and cross carry now free up, that he can able now to liquidize assets, isn't that interfering with the investigation? So people, let me bring up a document where and you know what, let me explain something. Champagny, that is cross carry lawyer. People, I want you to listen. Champagny, who is cross carry lawyer, claiming that the injunction is not valid because cross carry resigned from SSL. Hold on, people. You hear what I say? The injunction is not necessary because cross carry resigned from SSL. Let me ask Champagne something. What does that mean? What does that mean? Cross carry resigned from SSL. It simply means that during cross carry tenure, the incident happened, stealing took place. Gene and Pantan admitted that he was stealing money from 2012. Cross carry, let me remind people, cross carry resigned in 2023. So then, for your reason, the Supreme Court is going to absorb that reason to the fact that cross carry resigned, and so then, yeah, the indictment should be lifted and add salt to the wound. You are asking taxpayers now that the FSC should pay cross carry lawyers' bill. Now, not only that the system is corrupt, but to look at the Jamaican people and undermine everyone's intelligence. Now, I am going to let my wife read something as it relates to SSL founder resigned from roles. And because that is the reason that they are giving to lift the injunction. This is so silly, extremely silly. Corruption in high and low places. It is so terrible. Go ahead on.
Okay, welcome again, everyone who are just joining. Happy Friday. Hope everyone is having a wonderful start to the weekend so far. So I'm just gonna bring up this article from the Gleaner. Let me just make sure it is shared. Okay. So I am just going to read from the article, and it's dated, and it's a Jamaica Gleaner, and it's dated February 28, 2023. So note the date there. So it's the headline says SSL founder resigns from roles, rejects claim is obstructing probes. So that is the investigation. So it says Hugh Croskery, the founder of Stocks and Securities Limited, has resigned as director of the fraud hit investment firm. He remains committed to assisting if called upon by any investigative entities, said his attorney, King's Counsel Peter Champagne, on Tuesday afternoon. Champagne said the resignation was based on assertions from regulator the FSC that Croskery has been uncooperative in ongoing probes of the troubled 50-year-old company. The lawyer said the businessman is rejecting the FSC's claim and acted for the avoidance of any suggestion to the contrary. The FSC, which has temporary management of SSL, made the assertion against Croskery and other players in an affidavit used to obtain a court order in January to block the winding up of the company. The defendants are refusing to cooperate, effectively hindering the claimants, which is FSC, in carrying out its functions, said Donna Fuller Barrett, the FSC's acting general counsel. She argued that the appointment of a trustee based on approval by SSL's directors and the subsequent wind-up application will have serious repercussions for clients.
Okay, stop there. All right, remove that. So there you have it, right? Speaks clear in the document, right? The reason for the injunction to stop Croskery, you understand, from winding up the company. What does that mean? Stop Croskery from liquidate assets. Now, let us leave this and show the reason why the Supreme Court, right, should have never, right, lift this injunction. In 1995, Paul Cheng-Young, 4 days prior to the court, ruled and found him guilty. Who was moving assets for Paul Cheng-Young? It was Croskery. It was Croskery. What does that mean? It means that Croskery has done this before. It means that Croskery, right, had a pattern of behavior relating to this sort of crime. It is not the first time that Croskery involved as it relates to allegation pointing, right, to the fact that clients, investors' money being fleeced. So then the Supreme Court would have privy of this information as it relates to Croskery history. And so then Nigel Clark, you'd have emphasized the fact that Croskery has this history. So then now, and let me ask you something, Nigel Clark. Let me answer something, Nigel Clark. And what Jamaican, local and diaspora need to ask you, but because don't believe that, okay, all right, you are going to use reverse psychology on us because this is what the system is using on us. Right? Because remember, I have anticipated from morning, from day one, that the only person who is going to be held culpable was Gene and Pantan. So guess what? You guys have not surprised me. Because we know that you have something up the sleeve. So let me ask you a personal question, Nigel Clark. Now, you said you are serious with this case. You are serious with the SSL case, and you want to get to the bottom of it. The first thing you have done to show your culpability in terms of your reverse psychology, or your psychology in reverse, whatever you want to use, is to the fact that you have lied to your people as it relates to FBI investigating this case. Why would you, Mr. Nigel Clark, lie about an investigation being active where the FBI is a part of the initiation of that investigation? Why would you lie? Not only that you lie, you have also doubled down. You have also doubled down on your lie. Now, when you realize that, okay, it's quite apparent that the FBI isn't here, you move to crawl. You divert the situation to crawl. Let me ask you, Mr. Smarty. How then crawl is investigating SSL and in an active investigation without no Jamaican having to hear what's the status of the case, but yet a Supreme Court rule that the injunction that you claim to impose on cross-carry has now been lifted. So then, let me ask you a question. Nigel Clark, would you be able to say to us if Kral at this time is investigating and why the court, right, lift an injunction in an active investigation? What is the status of the case, Nigel Clark? I want to know that let me show you something. Nigel Clark, let me give you an example. In 1995, when the FBI was dealing with Paul Cheng Young, right, an injunction, right, did execute by the court. What the court did in 1995 in the United States, where the FBI involved. The injunction, let me remind you, Nigel Clark, and remind Stephanie Jackson, the injunction was not lifted until the case, until the final rule where he was convicted. Nigel Clark, you're talking about over 9,000 people being fleeced of their money. And this is the way how you want to wrap it up. Because guess what? You know the reason why you want to wrap it up now, Nigel Clark? Social media is under your, listen to me. Social media is applying the pressure. Social media is showing evidence where it is not Gene and Pantan alone that involved. Social media is showing that the Prime Minister was in and out of SSL. 2011, the Prime Minister got $210,000 from out of SSL, right? 2012, the Prime Minister got money from out of SSL. 2021, right? Because remember, Friday, when I showed this statutory declaration, right? Some of that money that mentioned in the statutory declaration, right, based on improvement in financial investment, showing how much he was making. So you tell me now, after social media now is anti your back, because guess what, Nigel Clark, social media now aware that SSL crashed. SSL was a Ponzi scheme. So how could the Prime Minister, having seen increase in his investment, and why it is that the Prime Minister account is the only account that we know of being increased?
Made a profit.
This is the art of corruption. The thing about it, right? I am not being surprised, but I mean, you've done it quite quickly to wrap it up. You've done it quite quickly to wrap it up.
I'm not just in the middle of an investigation.
You not even wait until Carl give you a report.
But we don't even know if Carl doing anything.
We don't even know if
Not
Carl
hearing anything.
investigating. And yet, cross-carry is now allowed, right, to liquidate what he can liquidate. Then you want to tell me that is not going to intrude on the investigation? This is a mess as far as I'm concerned. This is a mess. No disrespect to lawyer Champagne, but lawyer with QC and King's Counsel. I was listening to a particular platform and someone asked that sometimes some of the ruling that happen in the court is not because the lawyer is extremely skillful. Many cases rely on to who the lawyers know. So if the lawyer affiliated, right, with the judge and so forth, right? Of course. Yeah, everything nice. Everybody in the body club. Everybody in the body club. I want to know if it is appropriate, if it is really appropriate, as it really, this is the question that I'm asking. And let me put it in perspective. Right? Let me put it in the perspective. The judge rule, and the judge rule is final. So I accept that. But it is over for SSL investigation. It is done. Right? So Bolt is not going to get back their money, get back his money, and nobody else is going to get back his money. Right? So then, okay, you are saying that cross-carry, right? Or let me ask it. Is the system saying that cross-carry is innocent of this? Then if cross-carry is innocent of this, come here, cross-carry. I am going to ask you a question. Cross-carry. And I want you to answer. I am going to ask you some questions tonight, cross-carry. Number one, based on Jean and Panton argument, FSC flag SSL. Now, one of the primary things that SSL was flagged for is misappropriation of investors' fund. Look at that. And warned that if they don't curb that sort of behavior, they are going to lose their license. So remember now, cross-carry, you who is the founder of SSL, as it relates to converting Paul Cheng Young Company, Paul Cheng Young and Associates into SSL, you are the founder for it. You are going to tell me that you are threatened to lose your license? No, so let me ask you a question then. How was the internal audit between 2012, since Jean Panton been stealing, to 2021 when she exit SSL? I want to know from you, what was the internal audit report saying to you? Because you were given time to correct it. So between 2012 and 2021, I want to know what your internal audit Your internal audit balance the book. Ear to ear, your internal audit balance the books. And this is what people need to understand. That your internal audit system, right? FSC supposed to do their own audit, right? So then at any point between 2012 and 2021, right, where FSC should follow up on an audit to see if the behavior was corrected. What happened to that audit report? What did you find, FSC? Because again, did you find that the situation was improved? The books were balanced? Because how could it be when Jean and Panton admitted that she has been stealing from 2012? So how your books balance? And you and other directors in the company, 2012 stealing active to 2021, and nobody find out nothing. So what sort of audit you would have done? What sort of audit? So then, Jean and Panton supervisors, people, let us ask this. Jean and Panton immediate supervisors wouldn't have allowed Jean and Panton to only carry out an audit and then not displaying the report. It cannot be that Jean and Panton alone carry out an audit. That's not how it works. So then, what was the finding of from Jean and Panton supervisor? That the books were balanced? Because you cannot be saying that, you know. Having known that Jean and Panton admitted, you understand that she has been stealing from 2012, goes straight up to 2021. So then, obviously, the books, under no circumstances, could be balanced. Right? So then, I just want to point out and make it clear to people, right? The clans of the corruptors, the clans, right? And make people aware, right? Don't look about SSL for non-justice to happen when now the Supreme Court, the Body Club, lifted the injunction. So then now cross-carry now, where investigation is going to find a trail to say, okay, all right, investors' money used to do this, used to purchase this, right? He has now given the opportunity to do whatever he wants. This is crazy in the middle of an investigation. In the middle of an investigation. You know what? I want to finish with that because I am not going to make SSL, right? Don't let me touch, you understand, the topic that I wanted to touch tonight. So let me get into my mood, right, to tread my next journey in terms of what I'm going to discuss next. Get a little sip, ease down the temper, and then we are going to go into a different level of discussion. And anyone saying anything in the chat here?
Yeah, they've been saying plenty.
Okay, did not Jean say that the money was used to pay workers' salary? Those people paralyzed the woman's mind. Can you imagine? All right, let us See if we can answer someone. Jamaica is a movie. No joke about that, sassy. We all waiting for the ending. Well, me not waiting. It end already. Any more?
Time will tell. God knows best. And welcome, Dwight.
Yes,
welcome
Dwight. That is so
joined.
true. Now,
thank you so much. Hold on, there are more.
Okay.
So straight up was asking that.
How do they expect to get away with it with Bolt's money? Are they planning to secretly refund Bolt from the public purse? Look, honestly, I don't think Bolt is going to get back 1 cent. Straight up. Trust me, straight up. He's not going to get back 1 cent. No one is going to get back any money. Right? Number one, the big question to ask. 1995, where Park Young and Croskery, right, caused Jamaica to lose 40% of its GDP. With the same arms house, we want to know who gave Croskery license. We can't get to hear that. I have done many research, right? And so then, what it seems to me, right? Because when you look and see how the Prime Minister in and out of SSL, right? We are not stupid. People, we are not stupid. Because if you have $10,000 in a SSL, we are no small money now, $10,000 in a SSL, and you put that for 5 years, right? A 5 years plan on that, with a midterm plan or long-term plan or whatever. You utilize a midterm plan and your investment, depending on whatever stocks, bonds, securities, or whatever you're putting your money on.
Medium or low risk.
Right, with a medium risk, low risk, or high risk. And if you put it down for 5 years, but within a year or two, you understand, you have gone into the money and take out money, right? Then, I mean, your interest is going to reduce, right? What volume of cash? Because the thing is, you know, and you see, I don't want to go too far, you know. I don't want to go too far. But remember, the period 2006, 2009, the Prime Minister had been investigated for the illegal awarding of contracts. People, try and understand what the Prime Minister had done.
Or being accused of.
Right? Or being accused of, based on the allegation. So let me state the allegation. And what the Prime Minister had done. Let me put that there, had done. And the reason why I am putting my neck out there, because the Prime Minister has set up 5 companies. Let me name the companies. I did say I didn't want to go there now. But let me name the companies that the Prime Minister set up. 2006, 2009. Look, people. The Prime Minister set up 1, Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited. Number 2, Sunshine Mobile Company Limited. Number 3, West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited. Number 4, Omega Bridge Finance Limited. Number 5, the Lido Taxi Service Limited. You know what the Prime Minister done? Is to put Robert Gavin, right, and Donovan Simpson as directors for this company. Let me tell you what the Prime Minister being accused of. Place these men as directors of this company. Because as it relates to the bidding process, if it was known that these companies, that the Prime Minister, right, have an affiliation with these persons, he wouldn't have gotten the contract. because that would be clear conflict of interest. And so then the Prime Minister set up these companies, right? And where Robert Gavin, has been listed as a director. And yet he's not a director. It is Andrew and Juliet who own the company. And guess what? Influence over $28 million worth of contract to Robert Gavin, while the Prime Minister was the Minister of Education. That is gross conflict of interest. Now, I'm just asking a question, not accusing the Prime Minister. Is it that these possibly illegal awarding of contracts money ended up in SSL? I don't know. I didn't say that the Prime Minister put this money in SSL. I'm just saying, right? It has now been proven, right, as it relates to investigation, that the Prime Minister, right, is the owner of this company, which one of these companies was set up by Patrick Bailey, who admitted, Patrick Bailey admitted by himself to set up one of these companies, right? And so then these companies were used, right, to, as it relates to the awarding of illegal contract. And this is why he caught up with the Integrity Commission. Now, people remember, let me give you the history. Between 2006 and 2009, while the Prime Minister actively dealing with illegal awarding of contracts, what happened? 2008, in between there, the Prime Minister joined SSL. You see how SSL connected to that? So if the Prime Minister, and this is what we want to know, and this is what Nigel Clark need to ask, and need to direct investigators, how much money did Andrew Holness put into SSL? And so then, if the money that he put in SSL amounted up to 20-something million dollars, put 1 and 2 together now. 1 and 2 together. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Right? Because over $28 million worth of contract, right? Contracts were awarded illegally. Right? And that's very serious. That is what you call political kickback. It's a crime. Right? And so then what happened? You hear Nigel Clark, because of the length of time, the complexity. And so now look at SSL now, where you have the Supreme Court judge lift an injunction, and we are not hearing rat as it relates to where the investigation reached, where Kral is concerned. What Kral is doing.
Are they in Jamaica or are they
right?
in the UK?
We don't even know if Kral begin an investigation. It is unfair to the Jamaican people. This is a big joke. Right? So let me just leave that alone. Right? And go into my topic. So then, let me settle down. And I know that some people, so my disclaimer, let me begin. I know that both parties, right, had involved in series of misgivings, right, from both PNP and GLP. But the truth be told, and I want anyone, before you criticize me, right, and say that it sounds like Byron of PNP. Byron is a Jamaican. And nation building we are talking about. And while talking about nation building, we need to speak the truth. The history in terms of Jamaica Labour Party and PNP. Jamaica Labour Party is known to suppress the poor very aggressively. Let me repeat. If people, and I'm going to, you know the reason why I'm going to discuss this? Because I have evidence that I collected, and you know how mystic sensation is. I am not going to speak from the hip. I am going to do my research. I am going to present the evidence to you. So if anyone out there who have evidence to the contrary of what I am going to show tonight, feel free to challenge me on that. Delroy Henry, Mystic Sensation, boy, drop the ball. He have the opportunity to bring down the whole criminal organization, but letting the FBI handle his case on others, and he let the politicians trick him with fake. Delroy, I tell him, my brother, you have the thing burn me, because now we see that the stench in Jamaica Supreme Court is pugnacious, and it needs fumigation, sorry. Forthwith, you're so right. But
fake promises, the end of
okay, fake promises. Yeah. So true. So let us begin in terms of what I just communicated. That Jamaica Labour Party is the party that known to suppress the poor from ever since. And I'm going to prove that. One of the reasons could be the philosophy of politics that they practice. Jamaica Labour Party practice what we call capitalism. People's National Party practice what we call democratic socialism. What does democratic socialism mean? Democratic socialism simply means that every single Jamaican is considered to be a stakeholder in the economy and should play equal part, right, in the benefit of the economy, right? So then when you talk about small businesses and so forth, democratic socialism endorses that, right? That is the flagship of Michael Manley, right? And being followed by Mark Golding. And that's why I said, power to Mark Golding. Now, what is capitalism? Capitalism, more move with private sectors, right? And so the private sectors drive the economy, right? Not total inclusion of all players, meaning Jamaicans, right? Sig said during JLP government in office, there are mass suppression of people and exodus of Jamaican from the island. JLP is like the Republican Party in the USA. I want you to listen to what Mr. Sig said, because what he said is definitely true, right? Capitalism. So since
sorry, one second, just answer this question for Darrett.
Okay, wasn't it the Prime Minister who set up the Integrity Commission? No. No, because the Integrity Commission, Darrett, let me answer you. It was the OCG, the Office of the Contractor General, that has been existed, right, before Andrew Holness, right, and with the same Greg Christie. The clips that I'm going to show tonight is going to show you something, right, as it relates to where the Integrity Commission. So the Integrity Commission from OCG just converted itself in a new name called the Integrity Commission. So it wasn't set up by Andrew Holness. All right, so I hope I answer your question.
They were muzzled by Andrew Holness.
They were muzzled by Andrew Holness. I hope I answer your question. But now let me speak as it relates
So
to
they merge them, yes.
yes, let us speak as it relates to the history of the politics and prove this tonight. And the reason for me to be doing this is really to appeal to people who is on the borderline, right? Them don't really trust the PNP and them don't want to vote for jail and them don't want to vote for GLP. But might be that is because of maybe lack of understanding. So I want to help those people, right, to make a decision. Me telling people to make a decision as it relates to People's National Party is the reason, fundamental reason for me as it relates to democratic socialism and the history of what I witness and observe, and many other people witness and observe. And so then for me, who endorse democratic socialism, right, that is the side as it relates to me supporting Mark Golding. So I am stating my reason. Right? The second reason why I am supporting Mark Golding, because Mark Golding, right, is one of the persons who passed many legislations that a lot of people don't hear of. Mark Golding is the person who decided that government cannot operate in a way that is not appropriate. And then it is not being followed by discipline. And so then Mark Golding find it reasonable as it relates to him, right, that members of parliament, there should be a method that when a members of parliament behave inappropriately, that member of parliament ought to be punished. Mark Golding believe in that. So regardless of what people are saying about Mark Golding and whatever, Mark Golding is talking about integrity and honesty. You're not going to get it from Andrew, right? So I am not going to just speak that people are saying, boy, Byron, you just talk things and you don't have no evidence.
And that's why I tried to pass the impeachment
And
law.
that's why when Mystic Sensation is speaking, if you notice, I bring source from the mainstream media to prove my point. So we are going to begin with the first clip and let me show you what transpired. But before I do that, let me give you a summary of what we are going to go through tonight. Now, in history of Jamaica politics, in the history, the entire history of Jamaican politics, only one politician has been sent to prison, has been punished and sent to prison. Kudos goes to
Mama P.
Mama P, Portia Simpson Miller. How many persons know that? How many persons know that? That Mama P, in spite of PNP objection, people, I want you to listen to me. When this case happened with Jack Smith, and I'm going to play it and make you hear it and make you see it and make you and show you that when we are doing our research, we are researching effectively. Because I want to uplift you with the education as well. Jack Smith, what he had done, and I'm showing you the history of suppression when it comes to the GLP and poor people. It is as if GLP ate poor people, and I am not being joking. Let me prove it to you. What Jack Smith did was have farm workers sent abroad to work in the snow, hardship. And they have their program where they have their savings. And while they're working hard abroad, they save their little money. You know what Jack Smith did? Remember, Jack Smith was the Minister of Labor. with the Jamaica Labour Party. Jamaica Labour Party. What Jack Smith did, I am not going to speak. I am going to have Wifey play the clip and let you see it. This is what Jack Smith did. Play the clip.
Okay, again, welcome to everyone who recently joined. Happy Friday to each and every one. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, this clip was done by Teach Them, big up yourself. May I use part of your product to prove my point. So may I give a kudos, my boss.
Okay.
In the relatively short time since Jamaica gained independence, the island has been rocked by a number of scandals, political or otherwise. But despite the myriad of political scandals to date, only one politician has been successfully prosecuted.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
On July 27, 1989, the mini-earthquake that would be known as the farm work scandal rocked the country. Improprieties and irregularities involving thousands of dollars from the US and Canadian farm work program implicated a former Minister of Labour, Mr. James Alexander George Smith, more popularly known as J.A.G. Smith, and a former permanent secretary, Probin Atkin. Of the improprieties, the most damaging charge included a lodgement of US $20,260 to a Belgian bank for the purchase of a Mercedes-Benz, agricultural equipment, and a Volkswagen car, payment for architectural drawings, contractual work involving the IDT by a company called Rrupted Repair and Maintenance, owned by Mr. Smith, the cost of travel by Concorde by Mr. Smith, as well as substantial payments for medical treatment was culled from the funds of the farm work program. In a dramatic twist, the then 64-year-old Probin Atkin, retired permanent secretary in the Ministry of Labour, pleaded guilty on May 8, 1990, and became the main witness in the case against Smith. He was sentenced in the Sutton Street Court to 9 months imprisonment. The bespectacled Smith, a chartered accountant who served as Minister of Labour in the Jamaica Labour Party's government from November 1980 to February 1989, was convicted and sentenced to a 3-year prison term for a conspiracy to defraud the farm work program. Smith later appealed the ruling to the UK Privy Council. However, this was unsuccessful.
Okay.
Teach them!
All right.
Hello! Send the message and make it reach them.
You know the
Teach
reason
them
why-
right here. Warlord representing.
Thank you.
My ardent listeners, you know the reason why I have you listen to that? 2 things I want you to get from that. The fraud that was committed. But in that clip, you realize what Jack Smith did? How he was able to carry off that fraud? What he did? Create a company. Create a company. So this creating company, right, to loot money out of a program, you see how long that has been with the Jamaica Labour Party. Create a company. Now, let us back up. I read out the 5 companies that Andrew Holness created. Where did he get that style from? History have a way to prove itself. Now, let us move on to the next, should I say, persons that seems like political kickbacks is the heart of the day. And this person that I'm going to bring again, right, to show my ardent listeners, is a person who has no sympathy for the poor. And as a result of utilizing a program, whatever he's getting from the program, I have no proof that he's getting anything from the program, but fail to acknowledge the struggle and the hardship of Jamaicans suffering abroad. and going through dilemma. And you know what he did? Was side with the foreign authority to continue the suppression of us. Today, as we speak, right? The reason why I play Jack Smith, because Jack Smith was the Minister of Labour. What is the similarity? Carl Samuda is also Minister of Labour. So GLP, Minister of Labour. Let me show you that even when foreign authority is saying no, really and truly, the Jamaica Labour Minister is saying this against the Jamaican workers. But people, before I speak anything else, let me play the clip. Evidence to support my line of argument. I don't come on social media and speak things and don't have my proof. Honey, play the clip.
Okay. Slow down.
Mm-hmm. Doing fine.
Okay, guys.
What prompted Jamaican migrant farm workers in Niagara region to write an open letter to Jamaica's Ministry of Labour requesting more support in the face of what they call systematic slavery? Is there any truth to these allegations? The cry for help from the Jamaican farm workers came days before a migrant worker died in Norfolk County. Ministry officials says that farm worker Garvin Yap, age 57, of St. James, was fatally injured while using farm equipment on August 14th at Burlow's Best Farm in Norfolk County. His death is still being investigated by Canadian authorities.
Mr. Justin Tudor, Mr. Foreign Affairs and Immigration Policy, I'm asking you just a favor. Take a trip and go in one of the greenhouse. Right time now, summer. Take her in one of the field and look what we are doing for the Canadian people. Even yourself, Mr. Justin Tudor, look we are doing to keep the country alive. Between Jamaican, Haitian, St. Lucian, Guatemalan, Mexican, and whoever come from other country come here to work. Just take a trip and see how we have to leave our family. And to make life easier for us and for you and the country, because we are building the country. But what is the benefit we are getting from the country? And we are just asking for just a little benefit from the country that we can have life a little easier on our family. And we have to fight in so hard for it. Come on, Mr. Justin Tudor and Mr. Foreign Affairs and Immigration Policy. Step up the game, man. Step up the game. Don't make we have to blame anymore. Just step up the game and look into yourself. Just give us status for all. Just give us what we're asking for. And just set us free. We need it. We need it. We don't want it. We need it.
Migrant rights networks, advocates and allies in Canada are calling for status for all. Status for all means permanent residency for all temporary migrant workers and their families who live in Canada with precarious legal status.
The Canada-Jamaican farm workers wrote an anonymous open letter to Jamaica's Labour Minister Carl Samuda. It highlighted scenarios such as migrant workers are cramped into crowded living quarters, given insufficient food, subjected to verbal abuse and lack workplace protections. It further describes rats eating their food, physical intimidation, bosses who threaten to fire them, punishments for not working fast enough, exposure to dangerous pesticides and overcrowded and camera-filled houses that feel like prisons. The letter compares the Canada's seasonal agricultural workers program to that of a systemic slavery. The letter further reads, "We wish we could say these words to you directly, but we are afraid that if we do, we will be kicked out of the program and will not be able to come back and earn the money we need to care for our families."
Did the appropriate officials in Jamaica respond? Their fellow citizens cry out for help. Did they respond?
The following is a report from CHCH-TV.
Those alleging mistreatment and poor living conditions on farms across the Niagara region. Earlier this week, an advocacy group penned an open letter to them demanding change. Jason Gaidola brings us the latest on this.
In a recent call for help from unnamed Jamaican migrant workers in Niagara, Jamaica's labor minister is dismissing allegations of mistreatment and poor conditions.
I did not detect, quite frankly, any of the allegations that are meted out.
During a conference call, Jamaica's Carl Samuda responded by saying he toured 9 farms in 7 locations within 4 days earlier this month and lauded the working conditions, living quarters, and the farming employers during his visits.
I found the trip very productive. I found that the program was being well managed.
In an open letter this month released by advocacy group Migrant Workers Alliance for Change, claims systematic slavery within Canada's seasonal agricultural workers program, and alleged 2 Niagara farms failed to address overcrowded housing and pest infestations, along with intimidating behavior from employers. Samuda says the Jamaican workforce provided to Canada's farming industry is vital to its country.
And we will do everything in our power to ensure that this relationship not only continues, but is strengthened.
CHCH News reached out to both farms named in the letter this week. One responded, calling the allegations completely false.
Migrant farm workers, authors of the letter, are issuing this statement. Hearing what Minister Samuda has been saying to the media, we feel betrayed. But it's no surprise to us that the Jamaican government is choosing to take the side of exploitative workers.
Executive Director with Migrant Workers Alliance for Change, Saeed Hussain, says the group are 2 committees of workers and fear of repercussions if they speak out publicly. He adds, by the response from the Jamaican officials, the group wants to turn to Canadian authorities.
It is now the government of Canada's responsibility to allow workers a seat at the table by giving them permanent resident status so that they can represent and advocate for themselves.
Ontario's Labour Ministry says it's working with the federal government while they continue to investigate the matter. The province says they look into working conditions while Ottawa oversees living arrangements. As for the minister, Samuda in Jamaica, he says they will increase liaison staff in Canada to support workers.
Many farm workers expressed feeling of betrayal from their own country's official, leading them to turn to Canadian officials for help. You can't help but wonder, was this a betrayal? Was this an act of using influential power to maintain a good relationship with Canada while sacrificing the needs of the Jamaican farm workers' plea for help?
Okay. All right. So there you have it. As it relates to Carl Samuda, right? And the call for help, right?
Yeah.
Carl Samuda claimed that he himself visited the area and he has found nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Right? And throw the Jamaican workers underneath the bus. Right? And take side with the persons who are suppressing us. This is what the Jamaica Labour Party represents. There's no care for the poor. But for the elites, this is a capitalist behavior. So I am just shaping for you to understand that Jamaica Labour Party is a capitalist party. Now, the next clip that I'm going to play, of course, we are going to get into the details with Mr. Pernell Charles, right, and the people in St. Thomas and their lands. And you know what I'm going to do? I am going to show the people certain information so that they can understand as it relates to that. Now, let us play Pernell Charles, the Pernell Charles clip.
The video, or you want me to read the article?
No, the video.
Okay. All right, welcome to those who recently joined us. Thank you guys for still being here. Really appreciate you guys being here. You want the video? Okay.
Is growing disquiet among some residents of Old Para in St. Thomas. They say a fledgling tourism opportunity has been taken away from them. However, former Member of Parliament Pernell Charles, who is at the center of the saga, says the business venture was infringing on his rights as a property owner and also violated environmental guidelines.
Sorry, guys. Can one of the moderators just get those idlers out the chat, please?
Dwayne Anderson reports.
What started out as a so-called hustle on a piece of land in Old Para, St. Thomas, has descended into a police matter and a standoff between some residents and former Member of Parliament Pernell Charles. Residents explained to our news team that they were operating a camping and adventure business known as Outdoor Vibes on this property. This video they shared with us showed that business was booming. This man said he was employed to the business.
Come together, clean up the place, and get together with the community. And the community get salary off it. Straight them get salary. Because me work there, my sister work there, my brother-in-law work there. And the shop, at night time we go and buy like food, or like a alcohol from the shop to out the night. So the whole community. Help the community.
But the residents soon found out that the land is owned by Pernell Charles. Eventually, the founder of the enterprise got into contact with Mr. Charles, who gave the man permission to complete one last piece of business and then vacate his property. The former MP said he could not allow the camping enterprise to go much further because there were several issues, including an environmental worry.
Where would that sewage go? So these are not things that could happen.
Mr. Charles explained that soon after the venture closed, some unidentified elements started sending threats.
They say, we were working on a property that is not yours, and you make the man gone, and you're going to see. Within the next 24 hours, fire was burning on my property.
Mr. Charles says he has reported the suspected act of arson to the police. He showed us the cane fields that were burnt. Mr. Charles said those residents who were earning from the unauthorized camping project must contact him if they want new opportunities.
I'm now planting cassava and pumpkin and melon and the property, particularly where they burn down. Come. I have a job for you. I've worked for you. They don't want that work. They want to run and jump up, which I don't have to offer.
As for those who destroyed his fields, Mr. Charles is talking tough.
You're an idiot. You can't burn me out. This sort of bad man business, we're going to burn out Pernell Charles. You're on a wrong mission.
The former MP also stressed that the area is not unclaimed. He said the piece of land was disconnected by erosion from the wider property he owns. Mr. Charles, in the meantime, said the property will bring great opportunities to the people in the area in the near future.
This property is slated to be the eastern tourism sector, the Negril of the East. There was an airstrip here before I came, golf course and hotels.
Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
Building your online business.
All right. So
go to.
I want to speak something on this. Yeah, I want to speak something on this as it relates to Pernell Charles being the owner of that land. And one of the reasons why I am going to deal with that was what we need to see to understand the true issue there is the purchase and sale of that land agreement. Over 1,500 acres of land, as according to Pernell Charles, that he owned that land and purchased the land, each acre, for $1. So consider it, people, right? So in total cost of the land, $1,500 for 1,500 acres. Think of that, people, and let that sink in. Now, let us talk about the purchase and sale agreement. I do a search and did not find any. I did a search and did not find any. I'm not saying that it is not there. But it would be interesting. Hold on, my brother leave this island at 7 p.m. from Montego Bay coming to UK. Why are Chinese taking over our duty-free shop in our country? Jamaica, under the leadership of the Prime Minister, is now a failed country. Right? One of the most critical things is that Chinese taking over our ports. That even more serious more than anything else. Now, when we're talking about securing land rights, right? And I'm reading from a research that I did, right? Securing land rights. Jamaicans obtain rights to land through inheritance, purchase, lease, and kingship ties, and squatting. These are the different areas how persons can gain land rights. Let me repeat that. Jamaicans obtain rights to land through inheritance, purchase, lease, kingship ties, and squatting. Now, the purchase of land requires a prospective landowner to conduct a land survey and conduct a title search to establish whether conflicting interests exist or if other claims against the property have been registered. There are two kinds of land titles in Jamaica: common law title and registered title. A common law title is a certificate of ownership used for unregistered land, right? Now, although a common law title is not a full title to the land, it can be upgraded to a registered title. The registration process for a registered title is undertaken in 5 steps. Claimants must, 1, conduct a title search at the National Land Agency, obtain certificate of good standing from the Registrar of Companies, have taxes and duties assessed of tax and the National Tax Authority, pay tax and duties at the National Tax Authority, at which point the transfer deed is sent for cross-stamping, and 5, apply for registration at the National Land Agency. This registered title is both legal and official. The Registration of Titles Act stipulates that the original must be retained at the Office of the Land and Titles. Of the approximately 650,000 land parcels in Jamaica, an estimated 45% are documented with registered title, World Bank 2008, and so forth. Approximately 21% of population lives on rented leased land, and percentage that has been declining steadily since 1997. The reason for me to read all of that, right? Let me just go through and explain. Right? Now, the fact of the matter, and one of the reasons for me to read that document is to show Colonel Charles himself that he has no claim. He should have no claim for that land. Based on what we have read in the document, right? Let me just go back to the document and show people, right? That if you squat on the land for a period of time, say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? And you go through the processes, then, right, you can register that land. And on me say that, right? And the document say that, right? And so then, those people who were on the land, right, doing their ecotourism, right, making good of themselves, and to have Colonel Charles who decide that him see some land, and because he was in the government at the time, I think this was 1992, don't quote me if I'm wrong, right? I think it was 1992. And he just decided that, okay, all right, he's going to take these land and push off these people. And then you hear him, right, talking about all what the people, now the people are practicing their self-efficiency, right? Ecotourism there and benefiting from that. And you are now telling the people, right, to come and work for you and plant cocoa. Can you imagine? No, and also telling the people, no, you look, you went there. The people being employed, being self-efficient, they weren't begging you anything. And you are going to say, this is how Jamaica Labour Party minister, farmer, member of parliament, dealing with the people that all what they want is rum and jump up. Really, Mr. Minister, let me talk to you. Really, Mr. Minister, right? The people who have been there for years, where were you? Where were you? And as a matter of fact, it is the very same people who had voted your daughter in power. This is what I can't understand. There's a pattern of behavior that I realize that for members of parliament who have been voted in, prior to them being elected, right? They have not come from, majority of them, have not come from wealthy background. And after being elected, you are now seeing most of them owning land, particularly with most of the Jamaica Labour Party ministers. Owning beach land and certain things, prime land, right? Because they believe that they're entitled to it. And the people who service those lands, for years upon years. And when we're talking about years of being on the land, we're talking about 30, 40, 50 years. People being on the land. Right? And the wickedness that Colonel Charles had executed using the people. And even those people voted your daughter in. Well, let me tell you something. St. Thomas people, anybody who would listen to me from St. Thomas, the same word that he used, that you people only need rum and jump up. When election day, please write that on your placard and let him know that no rum and jump up. Please, St. Thomas people, get your placard, election day, write on your placard, right? No rum in the campaign. We are talking about the campaign now. When the campaign start,
okay,
right, and the garage start, make sure someone write on the placard them, no rum and jump up. When the candidate come down there, you understand, doing whatever, make sure to tell them, no one, no rum and jump up. You understand? Because, I mean, you are there doing your eco-tourism, right? Making your money, being self-efficient, right? And now, guess what? He's now pushing you off the land. But people, let me show you how vicious this is. And I'm going to show you something, right? Now, why you think previously I showed you what Jackson did? People, I want you to listen this keenly. Set up a company, right? And steal. Set up a company and steal the farm workers' money to buy Benz and VW, right? And look material to look about property. Remember what Jackson did, set up a company. Okay, that's one. Remember what Andrew Holness has done. Set up 5 companies. And you see the allegation that spreads around that. Now, see what Colonel Charles has done. Set up, let me go back to Andrew. Andrew set up also ADMAT and put in children as shareholders, 25% each, and him 50% each. And him 50%, sorry. 25% each and him 50%. Conclude the 100% shares. Now, people, look what Colonel Charles had done. Set up a company, put him 2 daughters and him son, giving them shares. People, I am going to show you a document now. Remember what I said in terms of what Colonel Charles claims that him pay for the land and claims that it is his land. Let me tell you something. If Colonel Charles wanted to sell that land now, I am going to show you a document as it relates to St. Thomas, right? Land for sale, as it relates to the cost of those land. Remember, I told you he paid $1 per acre. So, honey, bring up the clip and show the people. I'm going to show you how vicious these people are. Bring up the document.
All right, let me just share. Hold on, guys. And for sale in St. Thomas Realtor. Just make sure it's sharing properly here. There.
So, people, see it? Land for sale in St. Thomas. So, I don't hide this. Look at this, people. Look at this. Remember, Colonel Charles purchased the land for $1 per acre. $1 per acre. So 1,500 acres, right? Remember, the land that we are talking about as it relates to Colonel Charles was prime land. Prime land. Right? What we would call beachfront properties. Now, these lands here are just ordinary lands. Look on the cost, people. Cost for land, and these are just for residential home.
It's quoted in US dollars.
Quoted in US dollars. So for the residential home, not prime land, you know, 382,000 US, $143. $16,352. $16,352. We are talking about millions of Jamaican dollars, you know. $32,703. $47,092. $50,363. $46,000 and so forth. $88,000, so forth. $720,000, $900,000 and so forth. So want to get the idea, right? Now,
the beachfront.
Look on the beachfront here. The beachfront, here's the cursor over it. 648,000. Now, people, I'm going to tell you they must have no wickedness. Now, take that off only. Let me talk to my ardent listeners. So, my ardent listeners, honestly, what I'm going? We vote for them. For them to put their knees in our neck. And when you look on the land sale, that's why I want to see the purchase and sale agreement that this man claims him have. And from information and people, let me tell you something. Where I get the information as it relates to the cost that he paid, you understand, is over by Wayne Lonesome. So you can just go to Wayne Lonesome channel, you understand, and check it out. Wayne Lonesome break it down as it relates to, right, the cost per acre, which this man paid $1. So what you think now, I show you what the cost of land now is. And you see who input, set up the company, and you see who input in there, in children then. Now for persons who say Mark Golden is not doing anything, Mark Golden went down there. Right? And Mark Golden asked Colonel Charles' daughter who she is fighting for, whether for his father's priority or for the people who voted for her. And you know what she said? She said she's fighting for her father's priority. And the reason why she said that, because she's listed as a director in the company.
So both of them priority.
So they are fighting for their interests.
Family legacy.
And so then Colonel Charles. So it is not only Colonel Charles who suppressing poor people want to build their legacy, their wealth legacy on the back of poor people. So then if Colonel Charles decided now to sell that land at the current realtor value that I showed you, and not only Colonel Charles will be seeking the highest bidder. You see what I mean? So then Jamaicans are not good for the land. So the Jamaican Labour Party crew, you understand, make we eat the food here and sell out the people then. You understand? So now There is no justification as it relates to solid document. Colonel Charles was a part of the government. And of course, the document that I've read out, you have several unregistered land. All what a corrupted government or a corrupted MP needs to do is to identify, claim one of them, pay some tax on one of them, and that is it. You see how corrupted the system is. Where the document that I've just read tells you that if persons, you understand, persons can claim right to the land if they squat on the land, right, for over a period of years. They also can have the land registered. But guess what? Sometimes people don't take the time out to research, read, and uplift themselves as it relates to knowledge and to understand their rights. But it is there. St. Thomas people go and research it. And if you have to defend it in court, defend it in court.
And other places in Jamaica to need to
right?
research.
And make Colonel Charles justify how he comes by the land, because Colonel Charles just can't see some land, right? And strategically set up him data to run in that area, right? And then build up a family legacy, set up a company, right? No, these people were before you, sir. And based on the information, they should have more right to the land than you, sir. So then, this needs to take to the court. But then again, people, me not trust the court system. Want to see what go on with SSL. Me tell you the truth. But nevertheless, fight for your rights. Because what you think Colonel Charles is going to do? Colonel Charles is not from St. Thomas. His daughter is not from St. Thomas. His son is not from St. Thomas. So they are planning to buy land, buy Jamaican land, as a clan to them. 1,500 for 1,500 acres. And sell it for billions of dollars. Want to see the level of viciousness and wickedness what happened in Jamaica? Where is the authority to defend us when we need them? And so then we have to make sure. Let me tell you something, people. And I'm not going around any corner. The longer Jamaica Labour Party stay in power, people are going to be suppressed. We have seen Chinese, right? We owe China, and let me remind you people, the debt that we owe to China is $3.6 billion US dollars. Did you hear that a while ago? How much we say we owe China? People research it. $3.6 billion. You know how much we owe IMF? 767 million US dollars. So then, owing China $3.6 billion simply means that we have lost our sovereignty to China, because our wharf has been handed over to China. Prime lands that belongs to the people will be handing over to China. China has some already. So in our syllabus, right, our children are now in some schools speaking Chinese language. What is happening? What is happening? The longer this government in power, right, it is dangerous every day for Jamaica. So my people.
Right, Dorrit was making a statement, but
Okay.
answered her.
Mr. Byron, I hear that Holness wants to give people container houses. What is that? No, hold on them. No, Dorrit, because I have seen that today. Now, Dorrit, you tell me. Holness want to give people container house. That information is true, Dorrit. So let you speak on it since you brought it up. Just imagine. And that will boil them too. Container house. I want to ask Mr. Holness something. If he would recommend his family to live in one of those container homes. Seriously. If he, Mr. Holness, would recommend his family, right, to live in a container home, is that Jamaican gone to? That gone to? Container home? And he's putting it out there like, oh, it is the awesome of things. Can you imagine?
Luxury home.
Can you imagine? Eh?
Oh my God.
We know here in the first world country, America and Canada, we know who live in a container homes. You understand? People beyond the poverty line. Right? And so then, now, this is what Jamaica Labour Party is recommending us. So we are not to stay on the prime lands. The prime land don't belong to us. We must find somewhere
to catch up your container.
Go catch up your container. Your container house. Hey, let me tell you something. People, people, this is no joke. This is no joke.
Really take Jamaicans with idiots.
This is no joke. Right? You have seen the blatancy of this government stepping. Look what happened to SSL. The case over with. The case is over with. So Nigel Clark, again, we don't want to come with no findings. Byron, I went on his Facebook page and asked the same question and burn him out. What do you mean, Wade? You understand? Would he, right, feel comfortable to give one of his family members that? No. He would prefer them living to a 200 million Jamaican dollar home. Right? And this, I mean, they can, look, people. If you don't see that, if we Jamaican people don't see that autocracy is upon us, then I don't know what autocracy is. Who's going to charge Andrew Holness? Do you think the DPP would lead an investigation against Andrew Holness? No. She has been installed by him. Why do you think the commissioner of police getting more pay than the prime minister? No, people never think about it. The commissioner of police is getting $18 million per year, more than the prime minister. Why do you think that is? People look into it. So at the first, never belt out something like that. I mean, no one will research that. The commissioner of police is getting paid more than the prime minister. Pretty much unusual. pretty much unusual. Why is that? Right? Prior to this prime minister, another commissioner of police, none of our prime ministers that gone before Andrew were the commissioner of police getting more pay than the prime minister.
I'm doing jack squat.
Right? This man has been promoted even when crime is on the rise. Has been promoted. Why? So when we see these signs and see that the prime minister seems to be installed persons in certain places, right? And the prime minister seems to be running multiple portfolios that no other prime minister has ever done before. So then these things call for concern. Call for concern. Right? And as I said, every day or one more day with this prime minister is one more day of disaster in Jamaicans' life. I'm not too bad about that. All right, so let us read in the chat, and when we finish, we transfer to Jeopardy. All right, amen. Okay, all right. So let me go back to something for you people. I don't finish yet. I have one more clip. Now, I am showing you a history with Jamaica Labour Party and the way they behave. And when we talk about autocracy, it is very serious. And I'm going to show you why autocracy is serious. Why this looks like we are approaching that. Now, we know that the Integrity Commission, right, beginning as it relates to Andrew Holness 2006 and 2009 awarding of contracts. But I am going to play onto the fact that the Integrity Commission came out with the story because of muzzling the Integrity Commission using section 53, stating that if an investigation, right, is active as it relates to, corruption, illegal awarding of contract, the Integrity Commission cannot speak on it until it goes through Parliament and tabled. Just imagine.
You mean file 13?
Just imagine. An investigation about the Prime Minister. Right? You think the Prime Minister, just like what he's doing right now, who is going to agree that yes, let this investigation proceed? Now, the Parliament, simple. When Greg Christie sent that report, if they don't feel the need that that report needs to be tabled, they're not going to do it. Particularly when an investigation points against the Prime Minister.
Or a minister.
No. The reason why they're not going to do it, let me tell you. Because if the Prime Minister go down in shame, the Prime Minister is going to carry down the entire party in shame. And so then, because these people put party over country, they are not going to do that. Let me show you an example why they are not going to do that. The other day when the Integrity Commission came out and spoke on the issue because it was tabled, they still was offended, and the cabinet The entire cabinet defended Andrew Holness. Remember, the entire cabinet. But they are taking it much more serious. Let me play the clip and show you how more serious they are taking it, and you tell me if this is not autocracy. Play the clip on it.
Okay, welcome again, each and everyone. Happy Friday. Let me just, oops, didn't hit share, sorry. Let me just share.
Drastic changes are needed to the Integrity Commission Act. That's the view of Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine, Everald Warmington. His call follows what he described as a major blunder last month involving the Commission and Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Mr. Warmington was making his submission to the Joint Select Committee reviewing the Integrity Commission Act 2017 on Wednesday.
There is a push by some parliamentarians for a drastic reduction of the powers of the Integrity Commission. Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine, Everald Warmington, in making his submission, called for several amendments to the Integrity Commission Act. Among them, changes that would allow for the executive director or a commissioner to be impeached by provisions in the Houses of Parliament. The law currently states that the decision to terminate a commissioner or the executive director rests with the Commission and the Governor General. Mr. Warmington is suggesting this power should reside with the Parliament.
I'm asking for Amendment 9 to amend Section 15, subsection 2, subsection 3. C. The Governor General acting upon a vote of impeachment of not less than 2/3 majority of both Houses of Parliament shall remove from office the executive director, any other director, and all commissioners or any of them on the ground of misconduct in public offices.
Now, following the blunder involving Prime Minister Andrew Holness, like others, Mr. Warmington says the actions of the executive director of the commission, Greg Christie, were misleading. He argues that Mr. Christie retweeted reports from both local and international newspapers, despite knowing the outcome of the ruling by the Director of Corruption Prosecution. It's why he believes Mr. Christie should not remain in the post.
Having known that he misled Jamaica and everyone, and stating that he was not obligated by law to lead that also, and having retweeted it, he caused the office of executive director to be called into disrepute. And I don't believe it's worthy of him to sit in that position.
President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, O'Neill Grant, is in support of the suggestion for
people. These are the type of things that get me upset. These are the type of things that get me grieve. This man is one of the biggest hypocrites. Now look who is talking about decency. Does Edward Warmington know the meaning of decency? In the house, where people are expected to have a particular behavior, he's calling people Jezebel. And look who is speaking. He is the most despicable politician ever in the history of our politics. Warmington. Let me tell you why. He wants the responsibility to move from the Integrity Commission, right? And from the Governor General, and go to Member of Parliament, because they want to have a sledgehammer that if the Integrity Commission speak loud, they have the power to fire them. So they can do everything with the illegal contracts, awarding the illegal contracts to them friend, political kickback, and the Integrity Commission must not speak on it. You know the reason why Edward Warmington is saying that? Everald Warmington is saying that? Let me tell you why. Go back and research. Greg Christie, right, was investigating Everett Warmington for the same thing. Greg Christie was investigating Everett Warmington for the same corruption. So Everett Warmington vendetta is deep. All right? It's very deep. He was being investigated for the same thing. All right, so that is the end of my thing there, right? And of course, I'm going to turn over to Wifey for Jeopardy. All right. So once again, thank you for listening to me, right? And of course, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for that very insightful discussion as usual, Baron. Always put
You're
a lot
welcome,
of work into your presentation because it's about educating the public over here, trying to help people to know their rights and, you know, highlighting the wrongs when we see it and calling out our leaders, trying to hold them accountable, because we need Jamaica to be moving forward and in positive light, and we need a Jamaica for our children and a Jamaica for Jamaicans. Okay, so for those die-hearted persons who are putting politics or party before country, need to do some soul searching and look into what your party and your leaders are doing and dig into your moral compass.
Exactly.
You know, our parents taught us right from wrong. Look into what is happening around you and think about the future of your country and not just your party. Because at the end of the day, your party is not really doing anything for you because everybody's feeling the plight. Everybody under the same umbrella, whether you're GLP or PNP. It's not that you're getting preferential treatment and not feeling the plight as everybody else. So look into yourself and try to dig into your moral compass, because we have well-educated people out there who know right from wrong and who can reason and still supporting the fudgery.
All right.
Okay, that is what I will say on that.
Well said.
Okay, when you saying, can someone wake me up whenever this government is out of power? It's like a nightmare.
Exactly, Wayne.
Real nightmare. Okay, guys, so we are going to go into Jeopardy. And again, thank you so much for everyone who's been here. Thank you to the new supporters. Thank you for continued our persons who have been with us since day one. Thank you for your continued support. We really love and appreciate each and every one. And we know you could have been otherwise minded on a Friday night. We keep saying it, but we have to, because you chose to be with us and we don't take that for granted. Okay, all right, so I'm just gonna bring up the template. So now we're gonna be doing our Jeopardy, and we are going to be playing for credits. So another educational part of our live stream. So, oops, sorry, wrong template that. So we are going to be playing for credit. The person with the most points get $1,000 credit, Digicel or Flow, and then we have 4 runners up of $500 credit each, Digicel or Flow. So the questions will be in the form of a statement and you answer in the form of a question. And if it's a place or thing, it is, the answer is where your answer starting with where is or what is, and then the answer. And if it is the name of a person, then you answer with who is, and then the answer. Okay, Mr. G, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you being here. So this is my first time, but it won't be
Bless
the
you,
last.
Mr. G.
Really appreciate that. And Arthur also said the same thing. It's my first time tuning in, and I love it. Blessings. Blessings
Bless
to
up,
you
Mr.
all.
Arthur.
So thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. All right, so I am going to go ahead and share the template so you can see what the categories are for tonight. All right, so these are the categories for tonight. Let me just move there we go. So you can see, so the categories for tonight is name this profession. Then you're gonna unscramble some letters to make a word. People in the Bible, riddles, and capital cities. So those are the categories for tonight. And remember, we're gonna start with persons throwing out categories. And then the first one that I see, that's the one I'm gonna start with. And the person who answers this question correctly will choose the next category and for how many points and so forth and so on. Welcome, David. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, so Wayne is just like reminding to hit the love button.
All right.
It costs you nothing. Like it if you love Jamaica. Thank you so much, Wayne. And remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, you can show some support by subscribing. Really appreciate you guys. Okay, so Tiffany, let me just use this and refresh to see who actually first wrote a category. Okay, so Tiffany's saying riddles for 500. I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no building. What am I? I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings. Good night, David. It's a long time I come over here. We heard that you're in a different area, in a different department now. Okay.
Bless up yourself, David.
All right, and I see the answer that I'm looking for, so I'm not gonna delay, and it is what is a map, and that is for 500 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. So first on the board with the correct response is David, then Tiffany, and Molly also came in. That is 500 points.
500 points, David. All right, here you go.
All right, so Tiffany, no, sorry, David, choose the next category and for how many points? Oh, so that department full of work. Well, good to know it's keeping you busy and able to earn an income. So that is good. Them away everybody there. Okay. Okay. Oh, then away everybody there. Then soon roping, man. All right, so choose the next category and for how many points? Oh my God. Fireplace down here get hot now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, saying riddles for 300. Okay, and it's a double your score. You found it early. What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? And that's for 300 points. And it's going to be double your score. So what is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? Here's the paper that was here. No, this one. That's someone. All right, let me see if answer is there already. Welcome, Sniper. Happy Friday to you. Purpose said, Miss Davis, I am babysitting for you to lose riddle. Welcome, Sniper. Happy Friday. You're with the little one. Good. It's babysitting for Tiffany. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for. So let me reveal the answer. What is silence? So silence, so if it's fragile and saying its name breaks it, so you now have that sound. All right, so that is for 300 points and then it's double the score. All right, let's see who first, oops, let me just release the board first. Let's see who first came in with the correct response. Oops, don't run away. Tiffany, what is silence?
All right.
Then it was several out there hoping one would stick, and it did. Then Molly and Arthur also came in with what is silence. I may not have seen him on this device. Why am I not seeing it on this? Well, let me refresh again. I'm not seeing Arthur on this one. Seeing him on that.
Okay.
Don't know why. Okay. So Tiffany choose the next category and for how many points? And David, I say, what kind of babysitting business I keep over here? Is that the dearest babysitting, David? That the dearest is babysitting. Okay. So she's saying riddles for 400, so we're keeping it on riddles. What has hands but is not flesh, bone, or blood? What has hands but is not flesh, bone, or blood?
Much Tiffany get for the points?
Oops, did we? So it's 300 and double that, so 600.
Okay.
So double your score.
So the score as it is, Tiffany on 600 points, David on 500 points.
Welcome, Jojoya.
Jojoya, bless up yourself.
Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome. All right, and I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is what is a clock? So what is a clock? And that is for 400 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. We're not delaying tonight. Okay, first on the board with the correct response is David.
Okay, and much points?
Then Sassy, and that is for 400.
400?
Then Sassy, Jojoya, Molly. Let me see if I see Arthur up here because don't know why I'm not seeing him.
Okay, so the score as it is, Tiffany on 600 points, David on 900 points.
Tricklife says he's logging. I was like, why is Tiffany answering? Okay. All right, so I guess he's caught up now. And Sniper said, lol, yes, I have the little one in my arms, even though she and mommy have me wrap around their fingers. Oh my goodness, that's how it goes, Sniper, your little princess. Oh, Tricklife said, I was way behind. Oh no, hush. And David is saying riddles for 200. All right, so what can fill a room but takes up no space? What can fill a room but takes up no space? And that's for 200 points. What? So I can't hold them.
Facts.
Them know them riddles, man. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. What is light? So that is for 200 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. So first on the board with the correct response is Tiffany, then Sassy.
How much points?
200. 200. So what is gas? Is smoke, what is dust? Well, I have a point. Okay, what is air? Yeah, could be, but they said what is light. Okay, and also Molly came in with the correct. Okay, Sharon, no problem. Thank you so much. We understand. When we're finished, we're gonna take it in as well. She's saying, I'm here, but my ear stuck on Andre. Gosh.
All right.
Welcome,
Sharon.
Maya. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for turn on the AC.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome, Maya. Sorry. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Tiffany saying riddles for 100. It goes up and down the stairs without moving. It goes up and down the stairs without moving. Triple said, Arlene, lol, I was like, why is Stephanie writing riddles 400? And then I started seeing answers coming all over the place. I was like, something is wrong. Okay. It goes up and down the stairs without moving. What? Think again. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. So let me reveal the answer. What is carpet?
That damn carpet.
Okay. And that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let me just go up to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Where's Empress and Ricardo? Mixed in so that he was going to be somewhere. He might not have been able to join in, but he would have tried.
Okay.
All right, I'm just making sure, trying to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Okay, so first on the board with the correct response is Molly.
Molly.
What's carpet?
And how much for that?
100 points. Okay, so
the score is Molly and 100 points, Tiffany and 800 points, and David 900 points. Jewel in the kitchen, bless up yourself.
Welcome, welcome, Jewel. Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining and really appreciate you being here. Hope everything is good so far. You had a good start to the weekend. All right, so Molly, choose the next category and for how many points? Stephanie, it says Ricardo. Oh, Ricardo said Medea man. Okay. All right. So where's Empress now?
I'm gonna see Empress.
So Sharon said,
Sharon, Kamala Johnson Smith under the gun with this federal investigator with Mr. Rattigan. Yes, Sharon. Under the gun. Social media is not playing, Sharon. Not playing properly. Yeah, man. Rattigan line her up properly, Sharon.
I'm going to start think twice now before they go on to certain things.
All right, Ricardo, I'm not calling him tonight. Ricardo, how go on?
Okay, she's saying here all is well. We'll be here watching the winners. Okay. All right. So did Molly choose? Did I miss it? Okay. So you're saying capital cities for 500. All right. So capital cities for 500. Ooh, double point answer. The capital city of Switzerland. What's the capital of Switzerland? And that's double points. Ricardo Ibrahim, please do not call my name tonight. Oh my goodness, Ricardo, why pre? Oh my goodness, I said good night, people. Okay. And I see the answer that I am looking for. So let me just reveal what is Bern. So Bern is the capital of Switzerland, and that's a double point answer. So the person who answers correctly will be getting 1,000 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let me just refresh. Is it Richmond, Germany? Okay, let's see. So first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
Then Molly, Truck Life, Tiffany, and Sassy.
What's the point for this?
1,000 points. It's a double point answer for 500.
1,000 for Ricardo?
Yeah, 1,000 for Ricardo. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody's on this device.
Okay, so the score as it is, Molly on 100 points, Tiffany on 800 points, David 900 points, and Ricardo on 1,000 points.
Ricardo, I don't know why Bernard called me David. I really like how Ricardo addressed me as Mr. Truck Life. I really appreciate that, Sir Ricardo.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Ricardo, choose that for how many points? Oh wait, him there? Okay, so Truck Life is not on the board yet. It's in capital for 400. The capital city of Nepal. The capital city of Nepal. And that's for 400 points. What? Quick and fast.
Quick and fast.
All right. And I see the answer that I am looking for. So let's reveal what is Kathmandu. So that's the capital of Nepal, and that is 400 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. So, Ricardo, 400 points. What is Kathmandu? Then Daniel, Molly, and then he's saying for 300. So you put the points, no?
Who got it?
400 points to Ricardo.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, welcome, Verona. And she said, also Verona
Bless
also
up,
got it.
bless up, Verona.
Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, let's look at Joe's comment. Okay, so it's saying capital for 300. The capital city of Italy. Capital city of Italy. Maybe put the phone a little. What? I guess, oh, the phone changed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Ricardo coming fast. Let me see if I'm correct it. Okay. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is what is Rome, and that is for 300 points. So the capital city of Italy is Rome. All right, let's see who first came in with the correct response. And guys, remember, we're not marking for spelling as long as we know what is meant, because we know sometimes the device change what you meant to put and just distort it a bit. So first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo, although it says Iomi. But we know it was an R. And that is for 300 points. Then Truck Life is R90.
Okay, so
sorry, okay. Truck Life, then Daniel, Verona, Molly, Tiffany. Okay, and that's the
okay,
oh,
so
the answers came in. Sorry,
so the score as it is, Molly on 100 points, Tiffany on 800 points, David 900 points, and Ricardo 1,700 points.
Truck Life to stop saying France and man jump fit up here. All right, so you're saying capital for 200. So they're keeping it on capitals. The capital city of Scotland. Capital city of Scotland. Everybody's supposed to run out on that one. Skip out, jump out. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for. So what is Edinburgh? So the capital city of Scotland is Edinburgh, and that is for 200 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Okay, so first is Ricardo, then Trucklife, and that is for 200.
200 points.
Then Trucklife, Daniel, Tiffany. Okay, Trucklife corrected that. Molly, Verona. All right. Okay, so who just got the point, Baron? Ricardo.
Yeah.
All right, so Ricardo, choose the next category and for how many points. And guys, I'm going to ask for forgiveness from now if my brain my processor slows down a bit, because I only got 5 hours sleep today after coming in this morning. I was up for more than little over 24 hours yesterday, so I still have not recovered yet. I haven't gotten enough sleep today yet still. So if I start straying a bit, forgive me. And don't shout at me in any tone of words. Okay, stop reading my comments, please. Thank you, Ricardo. Okay, Ricardo said capitals for 100. The capital city of Thailand. The capital city of Thailand. All right, everybody run out. Cut my scholars. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for. And what is Bangkok? What is Bangkok? So that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Okay. All right, so first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo. Tell us, Ricardo, come and light up the place this evening. That's for 100. Then Tiffany, Sassy, Sniper, Truck Life, Danielle, Ricardo again, Truck Life, Molly, Verona.
Okay, so
sweep.
the score as it is, Molly on 100 points, Tiffany on 800 points, David 900 points, Ricardo on 2,000 points.
Jules says, sweep them out, Ricardo. All right, so go clean sweep your room, Ricardo. Move from there per Truck Life. All right, so choose a category and for how many points, and that's Ricardo, right?
Yeah, yeah. He had gotten the points already.
Okay, so Ricardo, choose the next category. I can find 2,000 also when we're done. Truck Life, I'm going to over what you did last week, Ricardo, and sleep. In a lightning category, they were left. It's not what you like, it's what's available, Ricardo. Come on, let's get a move on. It's what's there. Oh, I like Missy Bible. All right, how much you want the Bible for? Come past the sun. Okay, so 500. All right, let's see. E, also known as the Baptist, baptized Jesus. E, also known as the Baptist, baptized Jesus. All right, so remember the name of a person. You put who is and then the answer. And that is for 500 points. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is who is John. Right, and he was known as John the Baptist. Right, and that's for 500 points. All right, so let's see. So if you have plain old John, then, or if you put John the Baptist, whichever one comes first will be correct, because I already put that he's known as the Baptist in brackets. Sniper said, Ricky, you can't give me a chance to go up on the board. Oh my God, who is John? So Tiffany, 500 points.
Oh, Tiffany, 500 points for Tiffany.
500 points for Tiffany. Then Ricardo, Trucklife, Jules, Sassy, Sniper, Kay, Daniel, Verona, Molly, Jules,
and so the score at
Sharon, sorry,
okay.
Trucklife, sorry. Okay, sorry, and that's how the sequence in which the answers came in.
And so the score as it is, Molly on 100 points, David on 900 points, Tiffany 1,300 points, Ricardo 2,000 points.
Yeah, Ricardo said, I know why Tiffany shocked, because Tiffany all wide them out. And wide-eyed. All right, so Tiffany saying Bible for 300. This man wrote most of the letters to churches in the New Testament. This man wrote most of the letters to churches in the New Testament. Who is this man? Excuse me, guys, I'll be right back.
Who is this man? Boy, I sound British. Now the answer is there already, you know. Let me see who is the winner. Then you need me to call out the winner? Oh, you need to refresh first. Okay, but the answer is there already though.
Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, I see the answer that I am looking for. Who is St. Paul, or who is Paul? So it's just plain Paul you put, that's fine. But who is St. Paul? And that is for 300 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let's see who is Judas. Seriously? All right.
All right.
So first on the board with the correct response is Tiffany.
What?
Okay,
Well, Tiffany, I moved some.
May I tell you?
Tiffany, I moved butt tonight.
Tiffany, make sure so she gets
Let me tell you.
alien Wi-Fi tonight.
So, how much points? How much
300.
300.
So, Paul, who's Paul? Then Ricardo, Truck Life, Verona, Molly. I forgot to put who is. Drew. Okay, Molly went back and corrected that. Yes, so that's the order in which the answers came. All right. All right, so Tiffany says Bible for 200. All right, let's see. This woman married a man named Boaz. This woman married a man named Boaz, and I only need her first name.
Okay, so if you're not going.
She married a man named Boaz. Did you take my pen?
Yeah.
Take another one.
This one. Yeah, this is right here.
Excuse me. John. Okay, so this woman married a man named Boaz, and that's for 200 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Whoa, I'm fast. So who is Ruth? So Ruth was married to a man named Boaz, and that is for 200 points. Should have put with Ruth, but okay. So first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo.
How much points for that?
200.
200?
Yeah. Then you're supposed to be keeping more track of me, you know.
Okay.
Anyway, I just saw it. It was right in front of me still. Hold on one sec. So Ricardo, Tiffany, Verona, Sassy. Sassy not easy. All right, so that's the order in which they came. Okay, Sassy also came in with the correct answer there. All right, so who was choosing? Ricardo?
Ricardo.
So Ricardo, choose the next category and for how many points?
So the score as it is, Molly on 100 points, David 900 points, Tiffany 1600 points, Ricardo 2,200 points. Only 4 persons made the board?
Mm-hmm.
Only 4 persons made the board so far.
Still
Wow.
have some 2 categories with full points to go. Okay, so Ricardo is saying profession for 100. All right. Profession for 100. As a tradesman, I cover the outside top of buildings. Once I cover the top using a variety of materials, including shingles, bitumen, and metal, outside elements cannot get in. As a tradesman, I cover the outside top of buildings. Once I cover the top using a variety of materials, including shingles, bitumen, and metal, outside elements cannot get in. Name the professional. Okay, and I see the answer that I am looking for. So who is a roofer? So a roofer, this is putting on the roof of the to the house. So that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Truck Live. So first on the board with the correct response is Truck Live. So Truck Live, jump up on the board now. 100 points. Then Tiffany, Ricardo, Sassy, Molly, Verona, all right, so those are the pearls. That's how the answers came in. Okay, then look how uno make Truck Life reach on the board per Ricardo. Sniper said, who is that man saying I don't reach yet? All right. So Shortcliffe, choose the next category and for how many points? Oh, Julian is lagging. So Julian, refresh. Internet is lagging. Okay. So Miss Anne Imran. Who rang Ricardo? Wait, who would just give the point? Shortcliffe?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me
100
go back
points.
up. Hold on. No, that's too far up. Oh, yes, he put what is. Sorry, Shortcliffe is off the board. He put what is. Sorry.
Okay, so
I
who got
realized
it?
he put what is. So whoever has the first who is for roofer gets
got
it
it?
correct. Gets it correct. So Tiffany gets
So
the
Tiffany,
100 points.
get it?
Hush,
So this
Shortcliffe.
minus 100.
Shortcliffe is Ricardo pushing back off the board. Not technicality. Aye,
Okay,
Ricardo
so
push you off of the
the
board.
score as it is, Molly on 100 points, David 900 points, Tiffany 1,700 points, and Ricardo 2,200 points.
Yes, Shortcliffe, remember if it's a person you have to start with who is, and it's a professional person, so it has to be who is and then the answer. And Wayne is making new rules over here. Said, okay, new rules. Everyone who gets on the board gives me half of the points.
That sounds good, Wayne.
Shortcliffe says, see you begin, Ricardo. Sniper said, Shortcliffe, hush, but we are all the same boat. I remember when Shortcliffe carry crowd over here, so may I carry vengeance. Oh my God, come Shortcliffe, we are going to sail the ship now. Oh my goodness. Okay, Tiffany, choose. It's Tiffany, right? Tiffany, choose, and for how many points? She said profession for 300. Most people think I know all the books that I house. Most people think I know all the books that I house. Name the professional. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, so no delays. Who is a librarian? Who is a librarian? And that is for 300 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Ricardo for 300 points. Then Shortcliffe, Tiffany, Sassy, Verona, Molly, and Wayne. Ricardo is saying Bible for 400.
So who we not? Who just won that?
Ricardo for 300. Right, so Bible for 400. All right, let's see. Oh, another double point. So I think that is going to take care of, yeah. So double point there that went. Okay. Name of angel who told Mary that she would have God's child.
That is a double point.
Yes, a double point answer for that. And that is 400 double, so that will be 800. Name of angel who told Mary that she would have God's child. Okay. What? I'm on it already, you know? All right, so I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is who is Gabriel. So that is for 800 points. So let's see who picked up that 800 points. Let's see. What, you know, so I'm going to tell GPS to plug out the light. You move too fast like the man at the toll booth. At the toll booth. Let's sniper. All right, so let's see. First on the board is Ricardo
for 800
points.
Whoa.
Then Trucklife, Tiffany, Sassy, Molly. Listen, if you read from bottom up, I'm first. For a win. When you want me to move in the reverse. Verona. Oops, where's the rest of it? Okay. Tiffany said, Ricardo, you can't give me a chance. Ricardo. Oh my goodness. So he's saying profession for 200. My main job as a skilled professional is to plan and design buildings and generally play a key role in their construction. My main job as a skilled professional is to plan and design buildings and generally play a key role in their construction. Name the professional. All right, I see the answers already rolling in. And it is, who is an architect? Who is an architect? And that is for 200 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response of architect. God, it's asleep about me, yeah, them you know. Can relate, Ricardo. Ricardo. So first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo, then Trucklife, Molly, Ricardo again, Trucklife, Wayne.
So who got that?
Verona, Danielle, Tiffany. Okay, Ricardo looking at Molly. All right, so that was Ricardo.
Got that?
Yeah.
Which points?
200.
Did I add 30?
That's another 200.
Okay.
That's a new one. Man,
Okay.
you should be keeping score properly for me, because you know.
All right.
So
the score.
Concentrate fully.
The score as it is, Truck Life minus 100. We just we can't feel that, but 100. Molly, 100. David, 900 points. Tiffany, 1,700 points. Ricky Ricardo, 3,400 points.
All right, and he is saying profession for 400. People who win the lottery should come see me immediately after winning tons of money. Otherwise, they will lose it through careless spending. People who win the lottery should come see me immediately after winning tons of money. Otherwise, they will lose it through careless spending.
When I will see you
Somebody said, Baron, that would love Baron. This a bad mouth, but minus 100. Oh my goodness. Okay, any of them could be okay. What sort of think of the lady with the fleecing kit with the wheelchair and the walker and the big old granny frock. That is the clue.
How's that?
All right. I see the answer that I'm looking for, but those are somebody who will come out throwing something about that. Right, say who's the assistant? Sure, I say who's Jean Pat.
You think they're easy?
I see the answer that I'm looking for is who is a financial advisor? Who is a financial advisor? Somebody say, Ricardo say, Royal Reed, you want to see a penny of it.
You think a joke?
You want to see a penny? Oh my goodness,
No
I remember
joke.
say you win something. All right, so that is for 400 points. Let's see who first came in with the correct response. Okay. Let's see. Okay, first on the board with the correct response for 400 points is Sassy.
Hey, Sassy's on the board.
Sassy's on the board. Then
Sassy's on the board. What points?
Advisors about that financial. 400.
Relative judge. Sassy.
That's go Sassy.
Points. Sassy pass Molly. So the score as it is, Molly on 100 points, Sassy 400 points, David 900 points, Tiffany 1,700 points, and Ricardo 3,400 points.
Here, Sniper now I try to draw for Ricky. Slide down your phone screen and then look, you see the phone you see the plane a fly. Tap it 3 times, make it lift off. You don't never answer another question. Oh my God. Oh, Julian is still lagging. All right, so 100 Bible for 100 per Sassy. This nameless woman is known for being turned into a pillar of salt. This nameless woman is known for being turned into a pillar of salt. All right.
Or shall I release the whole of them? P block and they're all blocks. Oh, amazing.
Okay. Forgot the light. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for. So who is Lot's wife? Maybe 1 T, 2 T's, anyway, whatever Lot's, as long as we know it's Lot's wife. So that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let's refresh. Oh, Daniel, same Wi-Fi acting up. Osh, Daniel. Will send me first. All right, so Ricardo, first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo. Okay, corrected that.
And much points?
And that is 100. Okay, then Verona, no, the phone messed her up and then she tried to correct it in the same response. Truck Life, Wayne, Molly, I send Ricky in bed. I told you I was guessing. Ricardo is saying unscramble for 300. All right, unscramble those letters to make the word. Unscramble those letters to make the word. All right, let me see if... You wait, me I go call your boss and tell him, say, if you're 1 minute late, he must send you back home until Monday. Oh my God. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. And honestly, I see it. What I'm looking for is actually density, but I can see where you could get destiny, but I have to go with what I have on the board. When I look again, I see that Regardless, I want to rule my destiny. I see that it could have also been destiny, but I'm looking for density. Right, and that is for 300 points. So let's see who first came in with density. Seriously? Okay. All right, so density. So Ricardo, density, and that is for 300 points. Then, okay, everybody else put destiny. Sorry guys, but density is what I was looking for. So 300 points for Ricardo. 300 points for Ricardo. So Ricardo, choose the next category and for how many points. I'm sorry guys for all those who came in with destiny.
Okay.
All right, so Ricardo, choose. So he's saying profession for 500. People use these services to help with their taxes. People use these services to help with their taxes. Or it should be people use their services to help with their taxes. Hold on.
Should I release the word of them? Oh my goodness. I think I will cast and see what's up.
All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is who is an accountant or a CPA, which is a certified public accountant. So, who is an accountant, and that is for 500 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Excuse me. All right, so first on the board with the correct response is so this is somebody can give her the winning lottery numbers. Truck Life.
All right.
500 points.
Whoa.
So you can take out the minus now.
Take out the minus. Man, take out the minus. Man, take out the minus, Truck Life.
Then Sassy, Sniper, Molly, David, Miss Jewel, okay, so that's how the answers came in.
Truck Life slided. So the score as it is, Molly on 100 points, Sassy 400 points, Truck Life 500 points, David on 900 points, Tiffany 1,700 points, and Ricky Ricardo 3,800 points.
No, we're giving him 500 points. But since he was at minus 100, he should be at 400.
Yeah.
All right, so Truck Life, choose the next category and for how many points? You can't keep a good man down, per Ricardo. Is what trying to keep you down, Ricardo? Okay, so unscramble for 500. Unscramble those letters. Give me the word. Let me see the chat.
How is
It's probably
a crab leg. I said, is it crab legs? Yeah, crab legs.
All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for.
Yes.
Put it until when you finish, no?
Okay.
All right. So I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is inception. So inception, and that is for 500 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Ricardo, 500 points. Then
Ricardo, 500 points.
Then Truck Life. Okay, and that's how the answers came in. Oh, Julian is asking how she can refresh her internet. Mark the live and re-enter.
Okie dokie.
Okay, Sidani is also answering her. Okay, thanks, Sidani. When say Ricardo can quit now and still win, but if I get half of everyone points, I could still lose. All right, and Tiffany also came in with Inception, and he's saying unscramble for 400.
So
okay, so unscramble the words, unscramble the letters and make the word.
Tiffany just win?
No, that's Ricardo.
Yeah. Okay. Have it.
500.
Yeah,
okay. Okay. Try this thing. Well, I see the answer that I am looking for. So no delays. How many S's? Okay, 1 S. All right. So what is chromosome? Chromosome. DNA. What is chromosome? And that is for 400 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. So first on the board with the correct response is Sniper. No, sorry, David. Sorry, David. 500.
500? Wow, David, step up.
And Sniper. And Sassy. Ricardo. Sassy, corrected the spelling. Okay. All right, so we'll get fight, you know. All right, so how much points did I tell you? Oh, it's 400.
500.
It's 400. Sorry, not 500. Thanks, Ricardo.
So 1300.
So 400. Okay. You're gonna say don't give him that.
So the score as it is: Molly on 100 points, Sassy 400 points, Chuck Life 500 points, David 1300 points, Tiffany 1700 points, and Ricardo 4,300 points.
Ricardo, they were both bad man. Ricardo, choose David, and for how many points? There's 2 more left. So choose. Okay, so he wants for 100. Right. Unscramble the letters. Give me a word.
See that? See how the original artifacts in there and then.
All right, and I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is what is Bolivia, the country Bolivia. What is Bolivia? So, and that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. So truck life for 100. Wait. Oh, no, not truck life. Sorry, the spelling is. Okay, David. So David, 100 points. Bolivia. Then Sassy. Because you have to get the letters lined up correctly. Then, no, Sassy put who? Molly. Sniper. Tiffany. Okay. Okay, and the last one on the board, 200 points. So let's see. So those are the letters. Make them into a word. And the board is now clean. I said it have a B in there. Yes, it have a B in there. Bolivia is in what? Latin America?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bolivia is in Latin America, Sassy. Okay, no problem, Julian. You're welcome. She said I got it. She managed to refresh.
Oh,
okay. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for. So, what is protective? What is protective? We almost got it, but ended up with double P. Sassy ended up with double P. All right, so that's it, 200 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. All right, let me refresh and see. And that is for 200 points. Okay, so first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo for 200 points. Then Truck Life.
So that is the last?
Mm-hmm. All right. So, that is the end of Jeopardy, guys. Congratulations to everyone who made the board. Well played games, everyone who participated. Thank you so much for participating. And Baron is just tallying up the score there.
Okay, so for the persons who made the board, number one, Ricardo, 4,500 points. Tiffany in second place, 1,700 points. David, third place, 1,400 points. Truck Life, 4th place, 500 points. And Sassy, right, 400 points. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Verona. Enough love and respect to you. She
Bless
said,
up yourself,
night,
Verona.
everyone. See you guys next week. Love from Verona.
All right. Bless up, Verona.
Thank you so much, Verona. Have a wonderful rest and have a wonderful and blessed weekend and a productive week, and safe travel on the gravel.
Safe travel on the gravel.
All right. So congratulations to all the winners. Okay, so give Sniper your credit, and it's the same number that I have on IG. It hasn't changed, Tiffany. Ricardo says, Ricky, beg your quarter your points, please. Sassy's on there.
Yeah, Sassy made it.
Sassy made it today. Okay, so you are on the top 5. Sassy. David saying, jumping off now, guys, going back to work. So have an amazing rest of the night and weekend. Same to you, David. Oh my goodness, Julian is lagging again. And our internet is slow. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the very insightful discussion that we had earlier, and hope everyone will have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Have a wonderful and productive week, and stay safe. Sorry, David is saying the 791 flow for him. David, yeah, 791 flow, and Tiffany 815.
Hold on there. 791. And who, Tiffany?
Tiffany is 815.
Flo?
Yeah. Oh, Ricardo said, I don't eat lobster. Wayne, he no eat Trenton, he no eat lobster. Wayne say, Ricardo can buy everyone Red Lobster. You can buy other stuff at Red Lobster, not only lobster. Joke Life, so Ricardo, you don't eat all the good stuff. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So we're not gonna stay long after tonight because I really need to go back and get some rest, and Baron as well because he's been up since 5:15 this morning. All right. So really love and appreciate each and every one, and again, thank you for your undaunted and continued support. Really appreciate each and everyone. So have a wonderful weekend, have a wonderful and productive week, and stay safe, everyone, and safe travel.
Bless up and one love.
Until next week.
All right.
Peace.